Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. If my peers and subscribers, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I'm actually not exactly sure what we're going to be doing today. You guys will probably know based on the title and the thumbnail. So is today going to be another one of those mystery readings? Spirit has just told me that they are going to just tell me what we're going to be reading today. So we will find out shortly what that is. So anyway, without further ado, we are going to let you know that today is Wednesday, January 22nd at 12:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have not already checked out my video, please go check it out. I just posted and uploaded a brand new video discussing and talking about what to expect, good things to expect within the United States this year. So definitely go check it out. Definitely worth the watch. And then I also talked about the United States economy under Donald Trump and what that's going to look like. Now, keep in mind, I do want to put a little quick disclaimer. I was a little bit wrong. I do want to fact check myself there. I did say that the energy seemed to have stayed the same. One thing I did not realize during that reading was that, well, I haven't read on it for quite a while, so my brain is quite foggy about what I said. But essentially, I said that the energies remain the same, which is true in hindsight. However, I said it was going to take place later within this decade. Now, the cards are showing that it's going to happen a lot earlier. So, although the energy and everything is the same, the only thing that changed is the time frame. So I just want to make sure I put that disclaimer out there just to ensure that there's transparency between me and you. Anyway, this video is being recorded Wednesday, January 22nd at 12:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everything in this video is for life purposes only and for educational purposes only. If you want to be notified when I do post and upload, go into the description or the comment section below and follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group, and you'll be personally notified by me when I do upload. Let's begin. I still feel very confident about the changes in government. I just read on the positive. It's still there. So, I won't be reading on the topic too much because the guy told me I needed to stop reading on it because I was exposing their plan constantly and they have to keep regrouping. So I'm not going to be discussing anything regard to what's going on behind the scenes because I'm actively exposing the plan to the enemy, and I do not want to do that. So we're just going to go ahead and see what comes up in today's reading. We'll find out what the whole purpose of today's video is. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me, what is it that we need to cover for today? Okay, what deck do you want me to use? You mean this one? This is the index cards. This is like light pink, this is magenta. What do you want? Okay. Are you of light consciousness? Because I want to make sure. Alright guys, I'm clairaudient. I apologize if you're wondering like who the heck I'm talking to. They're like, oh, why are you asking now? I'm like, because I want to make sure. And they're like, okay. So like we talked about this like in the last video because we were just doing a video together. And they're like, why you keep asking? You know we're here. I'm like, just double checking. Double checking. I never used to ask, and now I'm suddenly asking. So I can see why they're a little alarmed. Alright, so what do you want to tell me? What do we need to cover in today's video? Okay, they're telling me to flip the deck. So the way these cards work were designed by me. So essentially, if something is upright, we read it as upright. If it flips reverse, we read the flipped. When it's flipped upside down or whatever, we read the back side of it. And that is the wording. So that's how I intended the cards to be. Alright, so spirits and angels, tell me, what do we need to cover in today's video? What do we need to talk about? What do we need to cover in today's video? What do you want to talk about in today's video, Spirit and Angel? What do you want to talk about? These are a little slippery, I will say that. Spirit and Angel, tell me, what is it that we need to talk about? What is it that we need to talk about? Are we ready? What is it that we need to talk about? What is it that we need to talk about? Okay, they're telling me now I have to half the deck. Okay. You see that I'm very clumsy, as you can first see that. It's not exactly easy. The grip is something, I'll tell you that. Okay, what am I taking? Okay, now they're telling me to shuffle it, and there will be our cards. Okay, so I guess they really wanted me to do a really good deep shuffling on this. But I haven't really used these cards in forever. Alright, so let's see, what is it that we need to cover for today? Okay, 3 cards came out. Oh, it's telling me about the election. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. Okay. Let me just pull this up just for reference here, just so you guys can see why it's crazy. Okay, let me pull up the 2024 election results. Okay, 2024 election results. Okay, so let's see, where's the results here? Oh, come on. Now the Wi-Fi doesn't work. Okay, so here we have is the United States presidential election, right? We see here Donald Trump got 312 electoral votes, right? This is what it says here, 313 to 260 electoral votes. Look at the House seats. Democrats got 215. The Republicans are Republicans are within that margin of error in the House seats. Look at the Senate, 54-46. Let me see where the Senate is at. 2024 election, Senate. Okay, look at this margin. 53-45. 53-45. To keep in mind that this is not also talking about the independents as well. Yeah, because there is an independence here, so let's see. Let me see if I can get the full map. Let's see where they're at. Because if I go to CNN, I'll be able to see the margin almost right away. Yeah, so the Republicans are at 53-47. 53-47, what did it say? It said, oh, it's not this side. 54-46. So kind of within that margin of error. It's pretty close. There's 1 seat off for both the electoral vote and the Senate. All right, so with that being said, I wanted to show you how crazy that was, especially that I just showed up. Now, this is talking about the election, so I guess that's what they want to talk about today. We have a nuclear war. That's the first card that comes up, an explosion of some sort, something that breaks the barrier, basically, because that's basically what nuclear bomb does. It breaks the sound barrier. I mean, people just, real realities explode. Here we have the Senate 50-50 reverse, which means it wasn't 50-50, but we have an unpopular leader. Which is true, because Biden was quite unpopular in terms of the popular vote. It's saying here that the winner was going to be unknown. Which is true, because we kept getting that we didn't know exactly who the winner was going to be. Right? Even in tarot cards, we didn't know exactly who the winner was going to be. However, an October surprise is reversed, which means an October surprise is when a big scandal breaks and something happens. However, what happened instead? We had trouble ahead. Because the winner was unknown, we had trouble that was coming. what was the trouble that was coming? We had a civil war, or the civil war was on its way. The other option would have been a world war. So either way, it would have been heading one direction of war in some capacity. So now don't take this, again, like I said, don't be alarmed. Remember, Mars is in the United States birth chart for a very long time. It had just entered in. It's the first time it's been there since um, the Civil War. So that's the last time Mars has been in it, and the last time it has been prior to the Civil War was during the 1776 and 1812, which both were Revolutionary Wars within the United States on American soil. So we are back with Mars again. Also, not to mention, we also have Saturn in the United States birth chart again as well, which also is indicative of major changes within government, including but not limited to another civil war. So remember, the Civil War didn't necessarily have to be one of the physical, but it could be one of the values, the understanding, our mindset, the way we do things, right? It could be the overtaking of government. Remember, I talked about how, what do you call it, that if Donald Trump wanted to become president, he needed to do a coup. He did it. He did it successfully. We're going to have to ask that in another video, but it's called the constitutional coup. It's essentially where they follow the electoral rule or the way to get elected as the leader. They follow the Constitution up until that point, and then once they're in position of power, it's totally disregarded. So that's kind of like how it does, and that is the way Mussolini did it. Mussolini followed that same pattern. Hitler did not. He followed an entirely different path, which is kind of like where Trump is. So the Civil War was here. Now again, don't take this as face value because I'm going to read on what the heck they're talking about and why this is coming through as a reading that we need to talk about. Because the next card that falls underneath the nuclear card, which is the reverse, the poles were wrong. We instead the poles are right. Okay? So this is what we saw on the surface. Again, this is what we were seeing on the surface here. What are we seeing behind the scenes? Well, let's see. Well, first thing is we have celebrities industry, the entertainment industry, which makes sense because it's Hollywood, celebrities, propaganda. This is interesting because it falls underneath the popular, unpopular leader, which is true because around the time that the election was taking place, the Diddy scandal came out. That was the breaker for a lot of people with the Diddy scandal. Underneath the winner unknown, we have religion. Right? It means faith, worship God. Instead, it means relational and time dominant. Divide and conquer. Controlling, oh my god, controlling like corralling freedom is basically what it means. This is reverse, which means lost and built. It does not pass. So something does not pass here, and this is the winner unknown. What's falls interesting because it's the winner unknown, which means the winner is still unknown. Because there's a lot of build that needs to pass to determine a winner. So something happened. Here we have underneath the trouble we have a charismatic leader. We all know exactly who this person is. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know who this one is. Underneath the Civil War, we have the news media, right? The propaganda, right? Divide the nation, right? Spinning stories, fake news, breaking news. What do we have here? We have, yes, divine, woke culture, predictions, or psychics. There is, like I said, there's going to be a divide within the spiritual community, and we're seeing it already. We're seeing it pretty obviously, and it's also in the spiritual birth chart as well. Is that there is going to be a divide within the spiritual community. This is no different. That's why there is a civil war here. Now, underneath the nuclear war and the polar right card, we have the upright electoral college margin, which would have been a 51 to 49 U.S. Senate seat to 188 to 199 seats, which basically means that that margin is not exactly where it fell. And the same thing with the Electoral College. So the Electoral College was supposed to be tight. So if Harris was to win or the winner was to be found, this would be the Electoral College margin. Right? And this would be the U.S. Senate margin, and this would be the House margin for the Republicans or the Democrats. So we'll kind of be within that margin here. That's why I'm saying here there's an explosion. The polls were right. And this is what the original margin. This is the way it would have been. This is the way it would have been. It would have been a lot smaller margin than Biden's, but it still would have been a winning margin nonetheless. Underneath the unpopular leader in the entertainment industry, we have immigration. Immigrants. Yeah, immigration. Stealing my job, build a wall, DACA, and dreamers. What does this mean? This is all about the dreaming, right? This is crossing over, getting over that hurdle, getting over the barrier to immigrate. to become assimilated into one. This is the woman, right? This is the female here. What does this mean? Why is this intended here? This card is indicating that there was a hurdle that needed to be overpassed, to be jumped over the bridge. But it says here, this is what would have happened. This is what we saw here. This is what had in our way. But here, this was the intermediate thing that changed everything. And here was Trump. This is Trump's side right here. There's Trump's side. We'll explain that in a second. Under the winner unknown law or bill, it does not pass. We have the tight race. We knew it was a tight race. Without a doubt, it was a tight race. We didn't even know who the winner was going to be, which makes sense because the winner unknown is on top, the tight race is on the bottom. Underneath the trouble ahead here, we have the charismatic leader and the Democrats lose. Right? And we have the Civil War, the woke culture, which means on, or what it means is yes. And then underneath here, we actually have the Electoral College margin. Want to know why this is crazy? Because here, and exactly, when you look at it, in two different polar opposites here, this is the election, right? This is the election. These two rows are Harris. These two rows are Trump. Now let's take it from this way. Let's separate them, make it easy for you to see now. Now that you can see it. You see the divide now? You see the difference? What's interesting enough is that these two cards coincided exactly the way it would have been for each candidate. That this was the margin for her, this was the margin for Trump. Right? This is the election here. Here we have the Democrats lose, we have immigration. Right? Here we have the poll to the right, charismatic leader. Here we have the entertainment industry with woke culture. These both are entertainment. They're both entertainment. Nuclear war, trouble ahead. Unpopular leader, civil war. You see how the similarities start to really make sense, they start to unfold? Well, now let's read it as if it was just Harris, right? We have the nuclear war with an unpopular leader. So something explosive about an unpopular leader. We have here, the polls were right, the polls were right, the polls were headed in Harris's favor. Here we have the entertainment industry, talking about her ability to project dominance and project confidence and tranquility, a breath of fresh air. Theatrical, something is theatrical here for Harris, something is theatrical. Here we have the Electoral College margin, 285, 299. It falls underneath the nuclear war and the polls are right. Why is this significant? It's talking about the Electoral College margin and what would have happened because the polls were heading in this margin. Under the entertainment industry and DACA, which means dreamer, for me, it's talking about getting over that hurdle. So now when you read it upward, we have the hurdle of the entertainment industry, trying to break the barrier, try to get in a way where you can be able to connect to a larger, wider audience, but despite all this, you were still unpopular. It means that she was still unknown, is essentially what it's saying, that she was still unknown, that was the hurdle she needed to get through. The other thing is that with this election, the polls were right, and the nuclear war could explode, if you look at it from the bottom up. Now, you've already looked at it from the bottom down, but this is the bottom up. Now, going to Donald Trump thing, 45, we have here trouble ahead from a charismatic leader, right? There was trouble ahead about a charismatic leader. This is talking about July of 2024. But there's also trouble ahead warning you the charismatic leader is going to be the next one. And here we have the Democrats lose. Why did they lose? Because of a political division within the United States, and that they're attacked on woke culture, but they also had entertainment, which means they were doing dark arts. Now, essentially, doing spiritual activity is a very good thing. However, there is a fine line between good and evil, and in this aspect here, Trump was engaging in dark energy, dark magic, something within along those lines. Here we have because of those dark magic, dark energies, we have the Electoral College margin instead, almost identical. This was the margin that we got instead. Now, reading it back upwards, though, we have the Electoral College margin about the tarot card reader, the psychics telling you about what is happening with the election revolving around Trump that could lead to a possible division within the United States. So if you're wondering why, a lot of tarot card readers saw what they did, because essentially, although that there was dark magic at play, the psychics are telling you what really went on during this election and how it happened. They're telling you here through the woke culture, this woke culture is going to send an alert and it's going to divide the country along different lines. Here we have the Democrats lose because of a charismatic leader, but be warning the charismatic leader, there is trouble ahead that will come amiss. So, going to what happened and the story of everything, we have here the winner was unknown. We didn't know who the winner was. The winner cannot be decided because something happened in this election. Because the election could not be decided or something faulty happened, we have here a law or bill needs to pass regarding to do something. And because of this, there was a tight race. What's the bottom of the card here? We have here pro-capitalism, the monopoly. Can it make sense? What's also the second card? We have here refuse to concede. We have here will concede. We knew that. We knew that the concede was there. But what's the reverse? Crime rate, gang, MS-13, murder, or robberies. A robbery, they stole something. Here, what is the actual electoral college margin? Ironically, it's the same margin, the same card. The same card. So, that being said, here we have the 1980s to 1990s Southern Strategy impeachment trial reverse. So we have here it's reverse card here because the Soviet Union and versus the United States technology boom. The tech 1980s to the 90s, we have here the White House leans Republican. So whatever happened here in terms of the monopoly and the crime, it created this electoral college margin, which you saw in Trump's chart here. You saw that card come up, right? And here we have the White House leans Republican. So essentially, they took it. Now, how do we know we took it? Because this is the blue collar card. We have here Rust Belt states, infrastructure. We have here supply and demand. This was reversed. What was the actual card? The election of 2000, swing states decide. What happened in 2000? Something was stopped. The voting was stopped in the state of Florida, and it gave the election to the Republican. It went to the Republican, although the vote was never officially counted. Now here we have the Native Americans in reverse. We have here the genocide, disease, and outbreak. But what was reversed on that, we had FDR win 1936 landslide. So what was happening for Harris was she was heading for this, but instead the voting was stopped, and because it went to the Republicans. And here we have the Democrats win. So essentially it was taken. And here we have the reversal. What was the reverse instead? We have Martin Luther King Jr., I Have a Dream, Civil Rights, Black Lives Matter. So I do feel like there will be justice, and it's a coincidence that Inauguration Day fell on Martin Luther King Day and LGBTQ rights, which means people will be standing up because the hand is there for resistance. And what will the resistance do? It will indicate that there was actually high turnout, not low turnout. And what's the final result here? We have the result on undecided, and we have here historical leaders. So what does this tell us? It tells us that we have to look to what happened in the past to kind of understand what's coming for us in the future. And here we have civil rights in reverse. People will be resistant to whatever this is, and it's going to be a climate change. So something in terms of change is coming. And here we have the education is reversed. We have these swing states decided the election, which is true, they did. And here is the woman, the pro-choice, the pro-vote here. And ironically enough, this card also again comes up again. The same card comes up 3 times. And the White House, even though it was Democrat here, it's reversed, which means the housing industry, the collapse of the housing industry, the 2008 recession. So, what does this mean? This essentially means that there might be a collapse within the housing system itself. If you have not watched my previous video about what good things are coming to the United States, I highly recommend you do so, because we did talk about how the house was going to collapse and the system of government and things like that, and how although this is only going to be a short-term thing, it will have long-term benefits despite the negativity that we are currently experiencing here in the United States. So this is actually quite informative. I'm not going to lie, like this was kind of cool in terms of how the cards worked and how they set up. Or even I was shocked. Even I was shocked. Like, it definitely told you that that was the outcome there. You know, I love these cards. These were actually psychically done by me. Like, I saw cards or like words and pictures, and they just told me to just make them. So that's how I made these cards. These were designed by me and nobody else. So, with that being said, I'm going to now essentially, what are we going to ask now? Because I clearly don't know what's the next question now, because I'm trying to be very careful here not to reveal information. Okay, they told me, they gave me the permission to read. They told me that I can read on more on this, because they're saying they're almost ready, so they're okay with me reading this now. I guess that was like a 48-hour break or something. I needed to stop reading. Let's go and take a look, see what anything be revealed. Will anything be revealed in the United States? Will anything be revealed in the United States? Will Trump still remain as leader of the United States? Let's actually do that. Is Trump 45 going to still be the United States president of the United States? Is this him escaping, him running towards something? Okay. And what is he running towards? I'll move this over. These are clarifiers for this card. Let's come in here. Oh, she's gonna whip his ass. That's what I'm gonna say. She's gonna whip his ass. Alright. That's why I love black women. They're so strong. Okay, so, yeah, here we have the Great Fortune card. Oh, he's messed up. He's screwed. Alright, here we have the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom. We have the King of Wands on the top. Okay. Which is interesting because we have the Great Fortune for the women. We have the male on top. What's behind the male? We have your decision, choices. And what's behind that? We have your greed. And this is actually the oligarchy card. And here we have the Knight of Cups. I don't think he's going to let it go easy. He's not going to let it go easy. I can definitely tell you that for now. It doesn't take a scientist to know that one. Well, why I keep saying scientist? A psychic to know that. I don't know why the scientist thing keeps coming up. Alright, so. The first card is, we asked, will Donald Trump still remain president of the United States? We have the first card that came out with the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is leaving somewhere to go somewhere else. This is an escape card. This has always been my Trump card of him running away or running towards problems or running away from problems. In this aspect, he is running away from something. Right? What is he running away to? We have here the Hermit, the darkness, the light. He's looking for the light. Now, I don't know if that means, physically looking for the light, like, dying or something like that. That could be what that could be indicative of. He is looking for some sort of light, some sort of pathway out. But here, he's surrounded by a lot of darkness. But there's a little middle school of light. Here we have the Three of Swords reversed, means betrayal. Betrayal, right? But it's upside down. What does this card mean instead? I'm hearing not yet. So he's not heading into this section here because it did not happen yet. And here we have the Eight of Cups, walking away, but not walking away. So he doesn't walk away from something he has to face directly. This is something that's facing him directly. Like, this is something that comes towards him, he does not run to it, it comes towards him. I'm seeing possibly, wonder if he could have a heart attack, or someone could have an attempt on him, and it goes to him. Like, he sees the light. Not saying he physically, gets hurt from it. I don't wish that on anybody. This video is just for life purposes only, for entertainment purposes only. But it does feel like if, he sees the light, but it's not the end-all be-all, which is why the reverse card is here. So I don't think it's going to be the thing that ends him, but it might be the thing that shakes him up. Because under here we have the Lovers card. Now this could also be, he could have a heart attack from maybe him getting exposed or him getting caught. That could be possible too. Here we have the Lovers card in reverse here. This is the Biden-Harris administration, but this is running away from the unification of all people from all genders, yin and yang, running from the beautification of it, the unification of all that can and will be. Here we have the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands is reversed here, which is indicative of saying that there is new growth, new opportunities coming your way. She's running away from this. She's running away from lack of unity and lack of progress in some way. And here we have the Four of Cups reversed. And the Four of Cups reversed is very, very interesting, because the Four of Cups, for me, is indicating that, okay, so there might be some sort of difficulty that may come our way. in regard to the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is saying that he is given opportunities, and every opportunity that he was given, he refused the opportunity. Whatever that opportunity was, he kept refusing that. Now, why is this important? Because we have here the lack of unity, we have here lack of progress, and we have here lack of opportunity as well again, but this is something being offered for him and him refusing to take the easy way out. Now, why is it important? Because it's talked about here the unification within his own party, possibly. Maybe his own loyal base, his people, his followers see through some of the things because he doesn't give them progress. He puts them backwards instead of giving them ahead. That's what he does instead. And that could be why he has to leave. Go watch my economic video regarding to Trump's economy. Watch it. You're going to like it. Okay? Here we have the Hermit in reverse. The Hermit upright. Under the Hermit, what's happening, what's the darkness, what's he heading towards? The woman. The woman in the chair. What does this mean when I tell you guys all the time? When a woman is sitting in the chair, or a guy, or anybody sitting in the chair and is upright, it means that they are empowered, they will defeat somebody, or they will assume the office of the presidency, or they themselves will become the incumbent, or they are currently holding a position of power. Harris is no longer in position of power. She is no longer the president. She is no longer the vice president. But what is heading here? The Knight of Wands, what is she heading towards? We have darkness, and in the darkness, there she is. And there's the light. So maybe he sees that she is the end all be all. Maybe she is the light in the end. Maybe she is that light. And underneath here we have the King of Wands. He's also again running. And I said that he's going to whip his ass. She's going to whip his ass. This is the Queen of Swords. She's coming in with the sword. And when he comes in, she's about to swing that sword across. Swing that sword across. I think he's going to get some mental problems. Like he's going to be in a state of delusion. Like he's in a state of delusion. Like he just was so shocked that he might have been caught that might have like done it in for him. It might do it in for him actually. But again, like I said, I feel like he needs to be in position of power for right now because again, he needs to break the unity and he also needs to show that he cannot progress because he is not about progression forward. And now underneath the Knight of Pentacles, which is opportunity, something coming into fruition. Although that there was a yin and yang reverse, there is an opportunity here, which means something is waiting. Information is waiting. And here you see this person here, this woman who's just looking in the right direction. She's looking towards the future. Right? She's looking towards the future. Because this side here means the future. This side means the past. What happens here? What do we see interesting? The male is looking to the left. Right? This is the past. The male, Trump 45, is looking to the past. The woman is looking to the future. She is looking to the right. The Queen of Swords is looking to the right. The male here is looking to the right. So this is to the future. So the female is to the future, whereas the male is to the past. Or the masculine, in the way. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles. Again, opportunity here. Because why the Pentacles here? It's interesting because it's the woman looking to the right who was handed off by the Queen of Swords. So something was handed off by this woman who led to the Knight of Pentacles, which is holding on to something and waiting for the right time to reveal. Or right time to, move ahead forward. I do feel like there is an investigator here. So this might be an investigator, this might be her, this might be Harris, or it might be one or the other. But there is an opportunity here to go ahead. Because you see this person giving out their hand, and they'll say, go ahead, do it. That's essentially the go ahead. And at that point in time, underneath this card, the Knight of Wands, 45 escapes. Or he leaves something, he's leaving at this point as she gives the go ahead. Which means that she takes the role of assumption of power in some capacity. And I've seen the butterfly here. So again, like I said, she is like a worm right now, but eventually she will transform into a butterfly in some capacity. And a butterfly is a change, a transition. Right? That is interesting that comes in. You can kind of see the butterfly in the crown. It's a transition. Now, underneath the Page of Wands here, which is interesting because it's the lack of progress or growth, we have the King of Swords reversed. And the King of Swords reversed is the lack of progress in the incumbency. This is my incumbent factor. The incumbent person, the person in position of power right now. This male is reversed, which means that this person does not actually have control. I wonder if Trump does not actually have control and he's not actually doing all this. And somebody's doing the work for him and he's just deciding what he needs to sign. And underneath here, the refusal of opportunities. So maybe this might not be people actually physically giving Trump opportunity, giving 45 opportunities. Perhaps it's a divine order giving him opportunity the way out, to take the easy way. Eventually, one thing I learned about the spiritual world is that if the spirit tells you to do something you refuse and you're very stubborn about it, they will find a way, and every time you refuse it, it gets worse and worse, and they themselves will force you out in some capacity or the other. So, that's interesting that that comes up. And here's the Great Fortune card. What's underneath the Great Fortune card? We have here is followed by the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of Wands reversed, which means she won't be as injured as you would have thought. And here we have this goes on domestically. And here is the fall of the Republican. This is the Republican Party, which is represented by injustice. And here is the world, Washington. And here's the Empress. So eventually, it still stays, and I still hold on to it. So just don't be complicit, don't comply, and don't obey, and you'll be fine. But there's a lot of good things coming. I do feel like there is still unraveling. You can kind of see that in some of my reading. But Spirit today said that I could do this video, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the share button. Share this video with many others so we can grow our channel and be able to get the message across. And the longer you watch this video and engage with the content, the more you'll be shown my videos. And if you want to be notified when I do post and upload, follow my Facebook group and my Blue Sky account in the comment section below. Until then, guys, I love you. Peace out.